As former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for European and NATO Policy, Jim Townsend. Mr. Townsend, welcome. If these strikes on Iran continue to escalate, are there any circumstances in which NATO could become directly involved?
No, I don't see NATO becoming directly involved. It was a party to try to knock down a missile heading towards Turkey. Those were NATO air defense capabilities that were deployed to Turkey. So they've been involved a little bit to protect Turkey. But in terms of a large-scale NATO involvement, no, they've got their hands full dealing with Russia and the concerns of many allies who are arming themselves to the teeth to handle that problem. But in terms of the Middle East, while they're going to be watching it, and while NATO allies are out there dealing with the situation, this is not something that NATO as an institution will jump into the middle of.
How might we see Iran respond if this continues?
Well, I think we're going to see Iran responding the way it has been certainly over the past couple of days in terms of these spasm strikes. They're firing missiles and they're firing drones all around them to the various Gulf partners. Cyprus, certainly now heavily focused on Tel Aviv and on Israel. But sooner or later, they're going to run out of ammunition. And also they're going to probably find themselves in a squabble perhaps a bloody one, dealing with the succession to the Ayatollah. The president has come out saying he wants unconditional surrender. I haven't heard that since World War II, and I'm not sure how that translates into the situation that we're seeing in Iran right now. But in the coming week or two, certainly they're going to be, in terms of a military, not able to do the things that they're doing today. But what happens on the ground in the civilian government and among the Iranian people is yet to be seen. We just don't know how long that's going to last.
Yes, Trump saying that there's no deal with Iran except unconditional surrender. He also adds that once an acceptable leader is selected, that the U.S. and its allies will work to bring Iran back from the brink of destruction, making it more economically, he says, bigger and stronger than ever before. What is your take on that?
Well, we've heard him say that about Gaza. We heard him say that about Venezuela. And we haven't seen a whole lot of activity, certainly in Venezuela, in terms of their oil production capability there, which needs a lot of help in terms of dealing with gangs there and this type of thing. It's been kind of quiet. But in terms of Gaza and dealing with Hamas there, that's still going pretty slow, and that's a pretty complicated situation, almost as complicated as the Iran situation is. And so there's no quick, easy fixes. So that sounds great that he's going to make sure that working together with other partners that they'll bring Iran back on its feet. But there's a lot of work that's going to have to be done between now and then to be able to bring that about. And the major thing is leadership. If someone from the opposition, someone from the military, will they be pro-West, pro-U.S., or what? We don't know. And so there's a lot of work before we can start talking about Iran becoming even better than they were before.
And we have heard Trump say that the U.S. must be involved in selecting whoever that new leader might be. Jim, thank you very much for your time today.
You're welcome.
That is Jim Townsend, former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for European and NATO Policy.